By now, you guys have heard the alarming story of WWE blocking all watch parties within a 50-mile radius of Allegiant Stadium for WrestleMania 42 in Vegas. This, of course, was done because TKO, WWE, was not producing the ticket sales they were hoping for. That, of course, is a direct result of total incompetent greed. TKO, WWE being tone deaf and not reading the room. They thought that they would just run it back. Go to the same venue 2 years in a row because that's basically TKO's headquarters, right there in Vegas. It's convenient for Ari Emanuel, for Mark Shapiro, for Nicholas Khan, for Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and for all of TKO. Convenience! And because it's Vegas, they were thinking, no matter who shows up, no matter the price point they ask for, the fans will whip their wallet out, take out a credit card, and hand it over. But something happened this year that WWE and their smug, arrogant selves did not think of. The fans finally smartened up, and they said, no, we're not paying you that absurd amount of money. We are not showing up to your piss-poor event. Your show is bad. Your product sucks. Your WrestleMania season is no better than your crown jewel in Saudi Arabia season. You're asking for more, and you're giving us less. So, I'm going to keep the credit card in the wallet, and I'm going to keep the wallet in my pocket. A lot of fans that showed that support and showed up at Allegiant Stadium last year for Mania, they were still going to be there supporting the product still. They were going to go to the local bar, hand over $20 for an entry fee, maybe have a cup of 2-3 drinks, and watch WrestleMania. But WWE said, no, hold on. If you're going to be there and you're going to watch the product, then you're going to give us even more money. You're not going to give that bar owner $20. You're going to shell out $1, $2, $3, $10,000, and you're going to have to watch it inside our stadium. And they put a block on those watch parties. Are you kidding me? You talk about alarming greed. TKO should be on their hands and knees, thankful beyond belief that enough people want to get together to watch this garbage product, let alone call it a party. They're shutting down gatherings of fans watching their product. That is how hard up they are for a dime. That is how bad ticket sales are. As of this recording, they're still down 20% over last year this time. So it's bad. It's real bad. They're not going to be able to parade a legend out there, a Hall of Famer, to announce some immaculate sellout this year. They'll still probably try, but nobody's going to buy into it. Everybody knows there ain't a damn way on this planet Night 1 or Night 2 is selling out. And one of their dirty tricks is let's shut down any gatherings that are watching our product so they have to show up at the stadium. And if you want to say, well, BC, I think Vince did that a time or two in the past. He did, and there's a reason he did it no more. He instantly stopped because even Vince knew it's dirty, grimy business. You're basically smacking your own consumer upside their dome pieces. And for what? Nickel and diming them. Because that's all you're doing. How sad is it that a company not long ago that was bragging and boasting about bringing in record revenue, you guys remember that? I think the phrase they were using was business is booming, right? And they had all their wrestlers talking about how this is the greatest era ever. They're making the most money ever. Of course, they had enough simpletons that didn't know any better handing them billions of dollars. Netflix instantly became pissed off at the deal that they made, by the way. Netflix is instantly regretting that decision. ESPN gives them $1.6 billion, instantly regretted that decision. Fox gave them a bill, instantly said we are not renewing that relationship. USA did not want to end the relationship, but they knew Raw was a sinking ship. So they said, let's try one last thing. Let's do SmackDown. And USA can barely hold on to 1 million viewers right now. Nobody's happy with this product. Not the fans, not the suit and ties, not the networks, nobody. That's the real reason nobody's showing up to Vegas. The reason that as of this recording, they're down 20% from this time last year. 20%! So I know you're probably inclined to say, well, BC, isn't that smart business, right? They're not really making any money if everybody's gathering together in some bar and everybody gets to watch it on a screen. They want to get them into the stadium where they can really make their bucks. Don't you see that's where the problem lies? This is why we call it nickel and diming. Not reading the room, being tone deaf, and smacking your own fan upside their dome pieces. Don't you think a lot of them, if they're there anyway, and they're fans of WWE, don't you think they probably would maybe want to just be in the stadium? There are probably a lot of fans that just don't have the money, man. They're trying to make ends meet. Maybe they're paycheck to paycheck. They're just trying to put food on the table, but they want to go out for the night. They only got about 40 or 50 bucks. 20 bucks for the entry fee. Couple of 2-3 drinks, maybe some nachos, some fries, and try to have a good time watching a WWE show. Good luck with that. But instead, WWE sees this and says, you know what? We're going to shut them down too. And maybe they'll apply for a loan. Maybe they'll try for another credit card. And if successful, they can max it out with a ticket to WrestleMania 42. See? Everybody wins. They made it into the stadium. Why would you block your own fans from trying to watch your product? Maybe they don't have the money this year. But maybe if the product is good enough, they'll watch another show and maybe another show. And maybe next year's Mania, maybe not, that's Saudi Arabia. Maybe in 2 years, maybe they got $5,000. Maybe they hit a little bit of a jackpot while they were in Vegas. On a penny machine. Right? They're playing the pennies. They don't have a lot of money, but they hit. They said, I'm going to go to WrestleMania in a couple of years. Maybe they hit big and they actually traveled to Saudi. But don't you want the fans to come back? See, that's what his theory was. Always have the fans wanting and ready to come back and able to come back. That's why when Mark Shapiro said, Vince McMahon never maximized the dollar, that's his mistake. We are going to maximize the dollar. What he told you is we're going to be greedy AF. And he was dead on. He was very serious about that. And they maxed out those ticket prices. Whereas Vince could have done that. But Vince knew that he wanted the returning customer. Because the returning customer is where the value is. You can get a big payday up front, but if they don't keep coming back, guess what happens? Your pay diminishes over time. That's what you're starting to see. They were talking record revenue and record sellouts and consistent sellouts. Money was booming. Business off the charts. Now you're starting to see arenas with empty seats and tarped off sections. Full rows available to most of these shows. It's sad. The demand is no longer there. There's no longer a demand for WWE, and this happened just in 3 short years under Hunter Hearst Helmsley. The demand diminished by the year, by the month, by the week, by the day, by the show. And here we are. But that's not even the purpose of this upload. See, that story was several days ago. That WWE has blocked all watch parties within 50-mile radius of Allegiant Stadium for WrestleMania 42. Okay. Now this is where it absolutely gets alarming and quite damn pathetic. We got word over the last 12 hours that WWE has now put a block on all watch parties within a 50-mile radius of the United Center in Chicago for the Elimination Chamber. So now, guys, you see what's going on. This is now the new normal. And I say new normal because this is not going to end anytime soon with fans saying no I'm not showing up. No, I'm not giving you the amount you're asking for. This is the new normal with fans. Fans are fed up. Fans now see that the shows suck. The guy in charge cannot be bothered to give us a good show, give us good storylines, give us larger-than-life characters. That's not happening. And a lot of these fans have already paid so much money even for the crap show. Even for the garbage that they spent all that money on. So finally, when they come back around town, they're like, no. Even Chicago, bro. Chicago is no-selling the Elimination Chamber. They sold a lot of seats, no question. By the time the event rolls around next week, it's going to look all packed. Don't let them try to tell you it's a sellout because BC's dropping facts. It's nowhere near a sellout, and it's not going to sell out. They can claim it. They can have somebody come out to the middle of the ring and say, congratulations, it's the biggest crowd in United Center history. They can give you some absurd number, but they are not going to sell out. I'm telling you right now. Guys, these are live shots of Ticketmaster. What I am showing you right now is not the video we cut a week ago. Because if you don't know, a week ago, we talked about the alarming ticket sales for WWE's Elimination Chamber in Chicago. That's right. It was 2 weeks before the event, and this many seats were still available. WWE was in panic mode. We started to hear talks of discounted prices finally. You have never heard that from TKO. Now you're starting to see discount prices. That's panic mode. That's sheer desperation. But guys, this isn't from a week ago. These are live Ticketmaster shots right here. These are the seats still available, and the show is in 1 week. By the time you guys see this, it's either exactly 1 week away or 6 days away. Saturday, the 28th, I believe. So it is 1 week away, and you guys are seeing full rows of tickets still available. That dark blue, those dark blue dots, you're a pick of the litter. You can pick any seat you want. Guys, more alarming is the floor. That's where all their money gets made. Thousands of dollars for those seats. And guys, they're all available. Look at that left side. You look at that, man, and you only have 1 week to sell all of those. Now, we made the upload a week ago, and all those seats were still unfilled. So what makes you think within 7 days somebody is just going to walk up to the United Center with a credit card with $5,000-$6,000 on it and go, here you go, I like one of those empty seats? It's probably not going to happen. A couple, two, three, sure. No, it's going to happen. They're going to be filled. Trust me. They're going to move people around. They're going to comp those tickets. They're going to go to charities. They're going to go to radio stations. They're going to fill a lot of those seats. It will not be a sellout. And even with the comp tickets, every seat will not have an ass in it. I'm telling you right now, there's too many empty ones. Look at the upper decks. Look at this, man. There's full rows. There's full rows. This is Chicago. You have never seen this many empty seats for a pay-per-view of WWE in Chicago a week before the event. You've never seen it. I track this stuff. I am always checking up on this. I've never seen anything like it. And that, I say all of this because that is the reason that in the last 12 hours, news broke, and it is confirmed that WWE has put another block on all watch parties within 50 miles of the United Center for Elimination Chamber. That's the reason. If you guys are wondering why, wonder no more. Ticket sales are so low. They're nowhere near making the amount they were hoping for. So now they're going to block out their own fans from watching their own product. In an attempt that they will instead go to the United Center and give WWE their credit cards. That's the hope. It ain't working. It ain't working. That's a live shot of Ticketmaster. When this announcement was made, nobody ran to Ticketmaster and said, I gotta pick up some tickets. If I get for me and the wifey and I'll take one of the 12 kids, that'll be 3 times 4,000 with the taxes. Hey, it's only $16,000. Nobody's doing that. Nobody is doing that. Because the product is not watchable these days. It's not worth $10, let alone $10,000. Guys, do you guys realize how many people say, I cannot tell you how many subscribers go, BC, I stopped watching when they went to ESPN Unlimited. I haven't watched a pay-per-view since they went to ESPN BC. I don't even blame you. It's not worth $30, bro. It wasn't worth the $10 on Peacock. You think it's worth $30 on ESPN Unlimited? The only thing unlimited is the amount of headaches this company gives us. You're basically paying to get a nauseous feeling. You're paying $30 to get a headache. No, fans are finally smartening up. You see, they don't want to max out a credit card to go to a really bad pro wrestling show, where at the end, they know it's somehow all going to be about the doofus son-in-law, and everybody's going to be yelling, fuck you, Hunter. Fuck you, Hunter. And he's going to have that smug look and say, if you didn't like it, you could fuck off. We already got your money. They've had enough of it, man. In 2025, all this dude did was tell the fans to fuck off, and we don't need your business. Good luck with that then, because I think you do. And now they're blocking out their own fans. You should be furious at this as well. Because this shows you how desperate they are from their own greed, bro. It's not like the fans just decided one day to give up on them. They forced the fans to give up. They forced the fans to say, no, sorry, dog, I got to keep the credit card in the wallet. They forced the fans into that, and then they blocked them out. So they were the cause of all of this, and then they dug the hole even deeper. Well, two wrongs don't make a right, Jack. It reminds me of Napster back in the day. Napster was this big music site, and especially growing up, man, it was huge with us kids. And you'd go to this site and you would download free music. Free! Didn't matter the artist, didn't matter the song, and the industry couldn't really do anything about it because it was so big with the kids. And everybody knew if they were downloading your music, they were most likely going to buy a ticket to your concert. That's where the money is with musicians. It's not in album sales back in the day or CD sales. The money, still to this day, is in concerts. That's where the musicians make their money. So with Napster, the only one really getting hurt by it was the producers of it. Whoever was behind the actual album. So the musicians, you just stay out of it, man. Hope that those kids downloading that music show up to your concert. But Lars, the drummer for Metallica, decided to put the whole mission on his back. And Lars was like, this is not right. We work hard on this music. You will pay for these songs. Now, up front, you're probably thinking, well, I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it, BC? I mean, that's the musician. These kids are downloading it for free. I mean, shouldn't everybody be backing up Lars? That's not what happened. Everybody was like, you greedy son of a... What are you doing? Even other musicians, a lot of them were like, bro, this is exposure that is only going to hurt the labels. The producers of this, not us. So why do you care? And it backfired, man. And to this day, even Metallica fans, they are not happy with Lars. They felt it was a shady move, and it was just a slapback on their own fan base. And it pretty much ruined. It wasn't just Lars, by the way. I'm giving you guys a condensed part of the story. But Lars was a big advocate to shut that down. And it worked. He did. The moral of the story is just don't be tone deaf. Read the room. Understand who is viewing it or wants to. And then go accordingly. If WWE assessed the whole situation and they honestly feel like this is the best move, TKO said the best thing to do is to shut down all of the parties for our product in that 50-mile radius. And by the time it comes showtime, I wouldn't doubt if they move that to 75, 100 miles. Right? If TKO says that's our best option right now, so be it, man. It's their company. But if they truly believe that this is the way to treat their fans, to nickel and dime them, or pressure them, or try to push them over to Allegiant Stadium or into the United Center to give them thousands of dollars, bro, is that really the best way to go about this? To put a block on parties for your own product? Is that really what's hurting your business? Or is the lack of creative from your doofus son-in-law in charge hurting the business? Is it the fact that you have put ticket prices at a point where nobody can afford them? Unless they're maxing out cards or they're literally rich. That's it. Maybe those are the issues. Maybe it's issues like taking WrestleMania out of New Orleans when you already had an upfront agreement and saying, you know what, we're going to run it back in the same location as last year and hope we make the same amount of money, if not even more. And when it doesn't happen, you're like, whoa, why didn't it happen this year? Because your product is even worse than a year ago somehow. Because your ticket prices somehow went even higher than last year somehow. Because the decisions you're making as a company, whether WWE or the bigger conglomerate TKO, is pathetic right now. And all of these things create the perfect storm of stupidity. But if they assessed all this and they said our best option is to put a block on viewing parties, watch parties, that'll do it. That'll increase our ticket sales. Well, it hasn't. You guys can see the reports yourself. It's been days now, almost a full week since we found out about the block parties for Vegas. Ticket sales have even dropped from 17 to 19% down from a year ago, nearly 20%. So it just had the adverse effect. It just pissed even more people off, and now they're like, we definitely ain't showing up. Or what you did to those people, I ain't showing up to your show. In the United Center. That was 12 hours ago, roughly. That announcement from this recording. And as of right now, I think I see even more tickets up for grabs for a resale. So what that tells me is fans actually got pissed off that already had tickets. And they're like, this greed is too much, bro. I'm all set. Anybody else want my ticket? So it backfired massively. This company is in desperation mode. That's the bottom line. That's why these decisions are being made. You can no longer get together if you're near the venue to have a watch party. How pathetic is that? That's not good business. That is bad business. Because again, you have to think long term. Desperation. It's like when you see a restaurant like an Olive Garden or a Red Lobster and they start offering 2 for $10 meals, right? Or buy one meal, get the second at half off. Why? Like, sounds like a good deal, right? Hey, for $20, I can, $25, I can bring a date out, right? But then you have to question, why is 2 pasta meals only $15? What's in the ingredients? What are they making this out of? Why is 2 meals $15? Right? You almost don't want that. You almost want to pay a little bit more so you do know that you're getting a good product. Well, it's because they need to get you through that door. But why so desperate? Because business is not booming. Attendance is down at that Red Lobster or that Olive Garden. That's what's happening with the WWE right now. There's no demand. Attendance is down, way down. Ticket sales, alarmingly down. Interest with the product, extremely, unacceptably down. And all for justified reasons. Guys, we have reached so low with this company that now they're blocking parties of watching their event. How dare you gather together 30 fans and watch on that screen when you only paid the $30 for ESPN Unlimited? Did you even pay that $30? That's where it's come to. Nickel and diming and blocking out their own fans trying to have a party watching your shit show. Until next time, and there will be that next time, BC saying check you, unit. Salud.